Hello, 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 everyone. It's me again. I am here to do today a video on. I'm gonna give you my top 10 tips of going thrift shopping. So my top 10 thrifting tips. So here we go, and we're gonna start with number one. So here is tip number one. Tip number one is to go with a budget or a plan. You want to make sure that you go with a budget or a plan. Sorry, my cell phone is going off right now. So anyway, you want to make sure that you go with a budget or a plan. When I say a budget or a plan, you want to make sure that you go with a budget so you know for the day how much you want to spend. Do you want to spend $50? Do you want to spend $100? Do you only want to spend $20? You need to know. As soon as you get ready to make your trip out to the thrift stores, you need to know exactly how much your budget is that you want to spend, and that will kind of set the tone for the rest of your trip in terms of, should I get this? Should I not get this? Because then you already know this is my limit. I can only spend, $40. So this is your limit. And there's nothing wrong with that, because the thing about thrift stores is that the frequency is what's going to get you more and more items if you continue to go throughout the month. Instead of just going once a month, you're gonna continue to go throughout the month. This is something I don't practice, but I do try to go often enough to get the deals, but I do need to go more so I can get probably better deals. So anyway, you want to go with the budget so you know exactly how much you're going to spend, and you also want to go with a plan. So when I say a plan, I mean, do you want handbags? Do you want shoes? Do you want belts? Do you want clothes? Do you want shorts? Do you want blazers? Like, what is it that you're going to the thrift store to get? Like, when I go, on my next thrift store visit, I'll be going to get handbags and belts, because that's something that I really want. Handbags, belts, and I'm looking kind of to find shorts and pants, or shorts and skirts, even though it's about to become fall here. But I'm in Miami or South Florida, so it's summertime all the time, so I can wear shorts all the time. And I may be able to get more shorts now because it's off season, or because it's coming into the off season. I may be able to get more shorts now as I would be able to get during the summer months. So you want to make sure that you have a plan and you have a budget. So you want to budget, know how much money you're going to spend, and you want to plan to know exactly what you're going to the thrift store for. All right, so that's tip number one. So now we're going to go into tip number two. So here's tip number two. My tip number two is, don't be afraid. Yes, I am looking at my little notepad. I have a notepad here. My tip number two is, don't be afraid to try it on. Don't be afraid to try anything on at the thrift store. Most of them have dressing rooms and rooms that you can try on different clothes and things to see how they fit you. So don't be afraid to try it on, because if something does not fit you perfectly, that does not mean that it cannot be altered, because you can always find a tailor I guarantee you there's a tailor within 5 miles of wherever you live at that you can get the item custom tailored to fit you. Like if it's a jacket and it's too big, I'm sure you can get just the seams taken in from the inside of the jacket, and the jacket will fit you perfectly. If it's pants, you can always get them hemmed. Shorts, you can always get those hemmed. If there are things that can be modified to fit your body, don't just pass up on it because, it's too big, or because, it just doesn't look right. If it's exactly whatever it is that you want, you can always, tailor-made is okay. You can always go and get something tailored to fit you. There's nothing wrong with getting an item tailor-made to fit your body. I mean, really, on any of the items that you get from the store, retail store, anywhere, if it doesn't fit you properly, you should always go to the tailor and have it taken in a little bit, because everyone's body is different. Some people are little, some people are big. Everyone's body is different. So you want to make sure that the item fits you exactly how you want the item to fit you, okay? So that is tip number 2. So now we're going to go into tip number 3. Tip number 3 is every good deal is not for you. Or I should say every good deal is not a good deal. Meaning every good deal is not for you. So it's like, okay, so the item is $150. It's a pair of shorts. They're red. It's a blazer. It's red. It's a pair of black jeans. But if you don't need it, then it's not for you. Like, don't buy something just because it's on sale. Don't buy something just because it's at the thrift store and it's cheap. Don't buy it just because of that. Don't buy a handbag just because it's cheap and it's at the thrift store and it's a cheap buy. Don't buy it because of that. Only buy it because it's going to fit what you need, exactly what your needs are. And you need to know what your needs are before you go to the thrift store. So don't buy it just because it's a good deal, because it's necessarily, it could be not a good deal because it's just going to take up space in your closet. It's just going to add to the clutter in your closet. You know, if you don't need it, you don't need it. And chances are when you go shopping, yes, when you go shopping, you know if it's something that you don't need. I know when I go shopping, I know that there are things that I don't need. Yes, I still purchase them, but that is from like mainstream shops. But when you go to the thrift store, it brings a total different vibe, a different sense of urgency, because you're thinking to yourself that if I don't buy this, it's not going to be here next week. And chances are it might not be, but chances are it might be there next week. But then again, if you don't need it now, you may not need it next week. So don't buy it just because it's on sale. So, or just because it's cheap, or because it's $150 that day, or whatever the case may be. Don't buy it if you don't really need it. Okay? So that's my tip number 3. So now we're going to go into tip number 4. Tip number 4. So tip number 4 is know exactly what days are the sale days for your thrift store. You want to know exactly what days are the sale days because, okay, I'm sorry, I'm reading my notes. Okay, you want to know exactly what the sale days are because on certain days, I know the thrift stores that I go to, on certain days, there are days that I don't know, I'm not exactly sure, and I'm planning to go tomorrow so I can clarify what days are what days. But if you go to your thrift store, your neighborhood thrift store, you'll see that there are certain days that are 50% off, 25% off, 75% off, or half off, or whatever the sale is for that day. There are different sales, different days at the thrift stores. So you want to make sure that you know exactly what the sale is for that day at the thrift store that you frequent the most. Like I said, the one that I go to, or the few that I go to, there are different days that are different sales, like 50% off, 75% off, 25% off, but I'm not exactly sure what days are what sales. I know that the sales more frequent the weekdays than they do the weekends. So you're going to get a better sale at the thrift stores during the weekdays versus going the weekend. So if you have a lunch break, there's one by your job, you can go on your lunch break. If there's one you can run to right after work, go there, or if you can go during the weekend and see something that you want and then go back during the sale day during the week so you can get it for that 50 or 75% off, because if you find it, you can just run in and grab it if you get it, if you find it on the weekend and then you go back during that week, whatever their sale day is. I'm not sure, but the ones that I go to, whatever the ticket that's on the, let's say there is a red ticket. I should have brought something from my retail repertoire, from my wholesale repertoire. But anyway, let's just say you get something and it has a red tag on it. Red tags may be 50% off that day. So that day, that item's going to be on sale 50% off. And if it's freaking $3.50, you know, you're talking about a deal. And I'm all about a deal when it comes to thrift store shopping. So anyway, that's my tip number 4. I'm going to move on from that. So that's my tip number 4. I'm moving on. And now we're moving into tip number 5. Tip number 5. Okay, so now we're moving into tip number 5. Tip number 5 is closet compare. I want you to compare. Let me read my notes to make sure I tell you exactly what I want to say. All right, so closet compare, because you also want to compare what exactly is in your closet. You want to make sure that whatever you're getting, it can complement something that is in your closet, you know? Because you have items that are in your closet that you can wear now, but you may be able to add something onto it that adds an additional to that outfit. When I say I mean to that outfit. So you want to be able to add something that adds an to that outfit that you have already. So you want to be able to add something to your closet. You know what I mean? So don't buy something that's not going to complement stuff that you already have. Don't buy something that you have to buy something else to go with that. You want to get something that you already have, something that complements that's in your closet already. If you have a top that you've been wanting to wear, but you don't have a belt to wear with it, you want to get a waist belt that matches that top. You want to get a pair of pants that matches that top. You want to get a blazer that matches that top. You want to get a purse, handbag, backpack, anything, whatever it is that you're looking for. You want to make sure that you get something that matches that top. Because you don't want to just get, and then not have stuff that complements stuff. Because then you're just cluttering yourself, you're cluttering your life, and you're cluttering your closet. And that's not the objective when we go to thrift stores, because people are throwing away their old stuff. We don't want to just get their old stuff and just have it resting in our house. Why? There's no reason for that. So we don't want to do that. All right, so now we're going to move on from that. And now we're going to move to tip number 6. We're going to move into